Hyundai's compact SUV, the Kona, was late to the party. Pretty much everyone got a jump on the Korean giant before the Kona came out. It's because Hyundai was standing back and surveying the scene. Actually, that's not what happened at all. It was busy spinning up the I-30 on which the Kona is based. This baby blue Kona arrived in our house 6 months ago in February 2018 and has been looking after us. It's taken my wife's endless loads of paint and gardening stuff and furniture. It's taken us on road trips far and wide, and it's even contained in the back seat a 6'2" teenager.
The Kona Active is the entry-level model starting at $24,500. It's not exactly a stripped-out special like Mazda's CX-3 Neo though. It's got stuff. It has 16-inch alloys, aircon, a big touchscreen with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, hardy cloth interior, cruise control, and a host of other niceties.
The Active also has this 2-litre naturally aspirated 4-cylinder with a normal, traditional 6-speed automatic. And it's almost like there's legislation about how much power these cars should produce. It's around 100 kilowatts and around 200 newton meters.
So after 6 months, we've got a pretty good handle of the things we liked and the things we didn't like. What we liked. The ride.
This car really rides a treat. It's a really comfortable car. So we've done a lot of both city and country driving in this car because, you know, we're very thorough. And it's never had a lumpy or bumpy ride. So here in the Active, you've got torsion beams at the back, which could spell lumpy, bumpy ride, especially for rear seat passengers, but it's been fine. Like, only really sharp bumps upset the ride of this car. So the i30, it's a good rider, but this is even better, and it might actually be preferable for kicking around the burbs.
What we didn't like. The headlights.
These aren't great headlights, and it's not these are the LED daytime running lights, which actually look really good. It's these. Now they're set low, as you can see, and they're just not that great. They're a bit weak, and it's not so bad when you've got street lights or you're around town, but once you're in kind of darker areas, it's not great. And the halogen high beam, they're a bit yellow. I mean, that's a bit nitpicky, but it's important to know.
What we liked. Interior space.
This is a big interior. Yes, it's a jacked up i30, so it means there's a ton of room for 4 and 5 at a pinch. Plenty of room in the front, you've got shoulder room, headroom, all good, but you're interested in the back. Here in the back there is plenty of space. I'm sitting behind my driving position. I'm 180 centimetres tall and I've got heaps of room. I've got an easy 10 centimetres of knee room, another easy 10 centimetres of headroom. Shoulder room is good, it's very comfortable. My 6'2" son also sits behind here, no trouble at all. We don't hear a peep from him. Well, that's probably because he's got his headphones in.
The boot starts out at a competitive but not outstanding 361 litres, or enough to fit a middle-aged idiot, and with the seats down, gives that idiot a lot more room at 1143 litres. What we didn't like. It's missing some bits.
Now, while we like the space back here, it's a little bit sparse. Yes, there are cup holders and an armrest, but it's missing stuff. There's no power, no USB or even 12 volt. There aren't any map pockets or pockets to put things in, like, I don't know, devices. There's no vents. It's just a little bit empty.
What we did like. The safety pack. The Active is the only model not to pack a whole bunch of advanced safety features, so for a further $1,500, this car has the safety pack. It's money very well spent, as the safety pack is quite good value. Autonomous emergency braking, collision warning, lane departure warning, lane keep assist, rear cross traffic alert, blind spot sensor, and, just for fun, heated folding mirrors. The Kona has a 5-star rating with or without the pack, but for $1,500 it could easily dig you out of a lot of trouble.
And those safety systems work really well. Some safety packs, you know, with all the AEB and collision mitigation, all the warnings, they're a little bit half-baked. You know, like the Subaru Forester is constantly screaming at you, even though there's nothing there. I was just driving a very expensive German car that every time it saw a median strip, it would panic and grab the brakes. I don't think I ever got one of those, what we call a false positive, in all my time with the Kona. I think it's just been a really smart car. Now, one of the best bits about the safety package is the lane keep assist. Now, some of those systems, they either send a really disconcerting buzz through the steering wheel, like a stick shaker in an aircraft, or, you know, it's it's unpleasant and weird and I don't like it, or plays a noise through the stereo. I really don't like that. So it uses the stereo to kind of this, and at this level, this is quite impressive. At this price level, it just applies a little bit of torque to the steering wheel to steer you back into the lane. It's not shouting at you, it's not angry at you. I guess it's just annoying that you do have to pay extra for AEB, whereas in other competitors like the CX-3, it's part of the package. You're not completely left out though. You do get a reversing camera and reverse parking sensors, which is, okay. Everyone else has got them, but you do have them. I just wish particularly Ford AEB was part of the basic package.
What we didn't like, it's a bit slow.
It is a little bit on the slow side. Not everybody is going to get fussed about that. In fact, it didn't really bother me. There weren't many times where I thought, oh, I wish this was a bit quicker. Out on the highway, you do need to plan your overtakes a little bit, which you wouldn't have to do in the turbo petrol. However, my wife, who drove this a lot more in traffic, I guess, than I did, she said sometimes it really needed that little bit of extra kick. And when you do flatten the throttle in this, it's quite noisy. But overall it's quite good. It's reasonably frugal, so I guess that is the trade-off. You do get a decent return on your fuel mileage. So we've averaged around about 8.5 litres per 100 Ks over the 6 months. So a bit slow, but doesn't drink too hard. So can't argue with that.
What we did like, the looks.
We really liked the look of this car. Well, when I say we, I mean me. My wife wasn't so keen on it, but I really like the chunky look of the Kona. I really like the fact that you can't really tell that it's a jacked up i30 because it's quite different. So that's very similar to the way Mazda and Toyota have approached it. Give the punters something completely different. Hyundai has delivered.
So what's it like to drive?
This car really does ride very well, and that's kind of a Hyundai thing. The i30 and the Kona have both had the Australian Hyundai team treatment. This car also has higher profile tyres, so there's a bit more flex in the tyre to probably knock off a few of the harder edges, and it doesn't have the multi-link rear end that the upper models have, which could have spelt disaster. Well, not disaster obviously, but rear seat passengers could have been less than well looked after, but only really sharp bumps really upset the rear of this, whereas in older Hyundais, like the previous i30, if you had one with the torsion beams in the back, you'd get quite a bounce. Over the past 6 months, my family and I have grown really fond of the Kona. It's got everything we need. It's got all the gadgets like CarPlay, it's got cruise control, it's comfortable, it's quiet, and it's easy on the juice. Not once have we regretted taking a journey in the Kona, and that has taken us through scorching heat, freezing cold, and everything in between. 6 months of the Kona has proved to us that Hyundai has again turned out an excellent car, and for its first go at the compact SUV, probably couldn't be any better.